Now getting into things that maybe are a little bit less obvious. So successful risk takers have what I call strategic empathy. This phrase I'm borrowing from H.R. McMaster, who was a former very decorated general, who also is a military historian, has studied both successful and unsuccessful battles that the US, other countries have fought, right? So he talks about this in the context of putting yourself in the opponent's shoes, right? When I talked to him, it was in 2022 after the invasion of Ukraine, and he said, well, I think Vladimir Putin, he said, didn't really think about how Ukraine would want to defend itself, how the West would be very willing to help Ukraine and things like that as well. So in poker, it's very important too. You see here a hand between two very good players, Fedor Holz and Maria Ho. I know Maria pretty well. She has like this kind of crazy empathic ability to like kind of see and hear your inner thoughts and be nice about it the whole time, right? She'll talk to you. You'll think that you're having a normal conversation with a friend. What did you do last night, right? But she's reading you the whole time for tells, for signals, and so forth. So again, being empathetic is a good thing in life. Here it's being used in a more competitive way, potentially. But you also want to give people credit for being intelligent and skilled, right? If you think you're the only real actor in the room and everyone else is what we call in video game speak a non-player character who can't really take any decisions, like that's not how it works, right? It's a competitive world. Your opponents adjust and adapt. The world, in fact, is changing, I think, at a more rapid pace than at any point maybe ever, at least since the end of World War II or the Cold War, I suppose. So what strategies do you have as a person or as a business to compete in a world where other people are competing and are intelligent and are empathetic as well? Number 4, here's a slide where I will give you more of a personal story. So I play in the World Series of Poker every year, so my whole month of June, basically, I devote toward moonlighting as a poker player. And in 2023, I had a very successful year. The main event of the World Series is the one where there's over $100 million in the prize pool. This was the first time it had that much money. In fact, more than 10,000 people entered. And it's 2 weeks long. If you make it to the end, I made it a week through to day 6, and then played this hand here. I don't know how many of you know poker that well, but it's a pot. This is played for lots and lots of chips, 11 million chips, right? My opponent raises, I re-raise, he re-raises. I'm happily going all in because my hand was a pair of 6s on a board of 6-7 deuce. If you know poker, I had the second best possible hand. I was thrilled. Unfortunately, my opponent had the first best possible hand, a pair of 7s, right? So I go from thinking I'm gonna like win millions of dollars to being out of the tournament. I have to go like, and it's being broadcast, by the way, 15-minute delay in the poker room. So I have to like rush out of the room before my friends see it, go find a bar somewhere, get a stiff drink. But the point is that in this hand, you would wanna do the play that I undertook, going all in, because you're gonna win that play 95% of the time, right? So poker forces you to be process-oriented and not results-oriented, to focus on, did I have the right strategy? You can't control every variable as the world becomes more complex. That's pretty hard in other real-world contexts. People are always fighting the last war and second-guessing. The key concept is expected value. What are your results over the long run in a repeated experiment? I'm a New York Knicks fan, right? They beat the Celtics last night, came from 20 points behind. I was thrilled about that, but I probably wouldn't bet on that happening the next time that the Knicks are down 20 points with 1 quarter to go.